Just a reminder before today's programme that if you haven't seen the previous instalment of Walkman Week, it can still be viewed here on the channel, Day 2, where we looked at the rather stylish WM-22. Also, if you're just getting into cassettes and you want to know a bit more knowledge about them, then check out our beginner's guide to cassette tapes. And now, here on AMTV, time for Day 3 of Walkman Week.
Hello, it's Martyn here, and welcome to Day 3 of Walkman Week.
Hi there guys, it's Martyn here, and welcome back to Day 3 of Walkman Week. And today on Walkman Week we're going to be looking at a rather interesting model in my opinion. It is the Sony Walkman WM-B10. Now this thing was released around 1988 and I think it was the newest in a line of budget models at the time. This is made completely of plastic. I mean, look at that, it's very lightweight. The buttons are that more modern-ish plastic mold. But the thing that draws a lot of people's attention about this is the front. So you've got this black circle, which does act as a window into the cassette, although a very hard to see through one. It's nice and white, my model. You could get this in a variety of colours you could get it in. I've seen blue, black, red, a lot of colours you can get this in. But look at this at the front. So you've got the Walkman logo. Cassette player, an essential item of modern life. Fantastic sound anytime, anywhere. Obviously, the second line is wonderfully ironic these days, an essential item of modern life. Maybe not so much anymore. Fantastic sound anytime, anywhere. Again, that depends on the model and the condition, just saying. But anyway, this is the WM-B10, just a very lightweight. I call this the cheap because this, when you pick it up, this feels very cheap. It almost, you could argue it feels like a bootleg Walkman. It's definitely not. This is an official Sony product. Honestly, the lightness and cheapness of it just, I don't know. There's just something about it. But anyway, let's have a look at what's on here. We'll start with this. So that is your DC output. It's 3 volts, sort of like the WM-22 we looked at yesterday, if you want AC power. This one has a belt clip. Hooray, I'm a big belt clip fan. And this one you can attach or detach by the looks of it, so that's pretty good. And this particular belt clip I've seen on many revisions of Sony Walkman, so I guess it was interchangeable between models if you had different models. You can hook this on your belt, you know, tell people that you are an essential item of modern life because you're that cool. There's your battery compartment. There you go. This runs on 2 AA's, so that's not too bad at all. Put that back in there. 2 AA batteries to keep you going. I haven't used this all the way to the point yet where the battery life's been depleted, but I've heard anything, you know, from 7 or 8 hours upwards to maybe 13, 14, maybe depending on the batteries used or something. So that's, you know, pretty good on most Walkmans anyway. Now for the controls. So obviously here you've got the logo, the WM-B10 cassette player. You've got your play, you've got your stop, rewind and fast forward as standard in all Walkmans. But what have we got on the top? Well, not a great deal, but you've got the usual tape position. So flipping over, so you've got the normal position and the metal tape position, depending on which tape you've got in. You've got one headphone jack and you've got a volume control, which again does not have numbers to identify the height of volume, which is a shame, but you know, what are you going to do? But, of course, we have to look inside here as well. Now, whereas the first two we looked at on Walkman Week, you just sort of slotted the cassette in, this one you can slide the cassette in and then close the lid. So I'm going to take the ever faithful Sony Walkman demonstration tape, you slide it in there like that, close the lid, and it is in. Now you might not be able to see, but I don't know if you can make out the logo. That is a window, I promise. So if you press play, it will start. Now if you heard that, it sounded like took like a real effort, it sounded like to start. Rewind and fast forward work, have a listen. And backwards. So it all works there, but just listen as this plays, and if you can hear this. Like it's really making an effort to get itself going. But if you allow me a jump cut, we will cut to another part of the AMTV base, and I will give you an example of just how this sort of thing sounds 30 years later. That was very interesting. When I picked this up, The seller on eBay said new belts had just been fitted and everything, and I believe him. I mean, the thing does work. You get sound out of it and stuff, but I've always thought with the B10 that some of the sound comes across as muffled, and even when I plugged it into the speakers there, it sounded a bit muffled. I'm not sure if that's something to do with the heads. Maybe I need to clean them properly, or I mean, it could be a number of issues really when you get down to it. I mean, this thing is 30 years old, and since this was made for the budget on the cheap, maybe the components inside aren't as like higher quality as some of the other Walkmans. I mean, if the outer shell's anything to go by, I mean, even the WM-22 we looked at, despite being a budget model, had a sense of quality about it in terms of its appearance and its feel. Not sure this has the same thing, but you know, this did prove popular at the time. Again, budget models and all, and it does work. I got mine off eBay. This is probably sort of the cheaper end of 80s Walkman you're gonna get. When I've seen these go from anything from about £15, but in that state it's either, you know, not working or needs some maintenance, upwards to about £50. But I have not yet seen one of these Walkmans sell in triple figures, so I've never seen this sell over £100. I think the most I've seen a listing sell for is maybe about 70 or 80 for one of the other colours. But this white one you can get for, well, it's just fairly accessible really. I wouldn't say you'd have too much trouble in finding one. But can I recommend the B10? It's kind of difficult really, because out of all the many Sony Walkman models out there, even just in the 80s alone, I'd argue there are much better and cooler models to collect. In terms of budget Walkmans, this or the WM-22, I'd pick the 22 any day just for its design, its style. It feels a bit more like a high-ender Walkman, even though it's technically not. I just think this one's a bit of an oddity now, really. Aside from the meme of it being an essential item of modern life, I don't see much reason why you'd necessarily want to collect this. I mean, I did want to try and pick this up just because I liked having a variety and seeing, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future I either gave this away or tried to resell it. I didn't pay very much for this at all, by the way. When we're talking like less than £30 I paid. I mean, for what it was at the time, I'm sure it worked well in 1988, but even in terms of collecting and using it these days, not so much. But that is really all for this installment of Walkman Week. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments as well, do you own a Sony Walkman WM-B10? Or if not, let me know which models you own in the comments down below. But thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on. And until the next one, I will see you guys next time. Well, that does bring us to a close this evening on AMTV. We do hope you enjoyed the programme, and please do keep your eyes open for brand new content that will be coming to you soon. Until then, have a very good week, and we hope that you join us again soon. Good night.